Hi, good morning, and happy Friday. So, I am back and I'm giving you your second dose of Friday love. After last week, I heard back from a lot of you and I got some really great resources and I wanted to share them. And so, if you're listening, let me know that you're there. And if you've been practicing any of the practices that I shared last week, I would love to hear how it's been going for you. So happy Friday, and I think that starting with love on a Friday morning is a really great way to go into the day and also to go into the weekend. Hi, Leslie. So I wanted to just kind of begin this by sharing something that Caroline had actually shared in the last post, which is about Marianne Williams talking about how when we can shift from fear to love mindset, that this is the way that we can start to begin to live a life in miracles. And the way that I think about it is thinking about shifting from fear to love mindset is really about taking our path that we're living in our life from the human ego existence to the spirit or the blissful existence. And when we can start to do this, change our life track from fear living to love living, we also can experience the truth about ourselves, our lives, and really start to evolve our path to a different level. So I wanted to just kind of give a preface about why we do this work in shifting from fear to love mindset. So for those of you that weren't here, or if you want to review from last week, the practice that we started with was Rick Hanson's practice on taking in the good, and I did it last week on the word love or the experience of love. So beginning with the word love, you're going to sit with it and just put all of your focus on the word love. And you're going to do that for about 5 breaths. And then after you do that, you're going to make love into a felt experience, something that you feel in your body. And you're going to do that for about 5 breaths, really putting your focus and attention on the physical experience in your body of love. And then the next step after that is that you expand this experience in your body. And sometimes when we expand the experience of love or any experience in our body, we can actually also develop an anchor in our real life that not just symbolizes that experience, but will allow us to tap into that experience later when we want to call it up or use it as a resource. So I shared last week that when I think of the word love, that I feel this like opening across my chest, and I can feel like I take a little bit more breath in. So whatever your experience is, if you can find a way to anchor it in your life. So if mine was this opening across my chest and the actual experience of stretching, I might be able to tap into this experience again in my life simply by taking a moment to breathe and open up my heart. And when I do that, I can actually just feel everything else like drop inside of me, and like I just feel like a settling and a grounding come over me. So that's just an example of how you can take this practice of love from a word to a felt experience to something that you can actually anchor into in your life. So let's go one step further and let's see if we can make this word love, this experience in our body, not just something that we can anchor into, but we're going to use love to be able to relate to difficult experiences or challenges. Hey, Michelle. So happy to have some of you on here that are totally on this vibe of love and abundance. So happy to have the tribe and know that I'm connected and I can feel it. So thanks again for joining. So we just reviewed the practices of love that we did last week, and we're transferring this experience of love as not just a word, but a felt experience and an anchor in our life. But now we're going to say, with this experience of love in your body, I said that mine was this opening across the chest. And when I do that, when I open across my chest, when I breathe into my heart, I feel this like grounding sensation come into me, and it like goes all the way into my hands and into my feet. So if I allow myself to experience and feel that feeling and expand it, and then I'm going to now say, let me conjure up a difficult situation or a difficult emotion or a challenge or even a fear of rejection, fear of failing, it doesn't matter, fear, any fear. So you can allow yourself to conjure or think or be close to the experience of fear. And it's the idea that we're going to take that fear and we're going to drop it into this bigger container that exists in your body of love. And so the idea is that love is the bigger experience. It's the container in which you hold challenges, fear, difficulty, or difficult emotions. Hey, Aaron. So that the love is the bigger experience in which we hold these smaller things. That the fear is actually smaller than the love. Love is the bigger and more powerful experience. And so the idea here is that we don't meet fear by trying to whack-a-mole. We're not trying to beat it down and make it disappear. We're simply trying to hold fear in the larger container of love so that it can start to dissolve. And as I said earlier, love is the vehicle towards not just peace and happiness, but also towards seeing truth. So when we can drop fear into the bigger container of love in our body, we can also start to see the things that we're afraid of in truth or in light. And I love the acronym for fear, false evidence appearing real. And so when we can drop fear into the bigger container of love, we can actually start to see it more clearly, and it can start to dissolve into what it actually is, which is no longer fear. It's no longer false, it's no longer evidence, but it becomes truth. And when it becomes truth, it becomes simplified and clear, and we can understand better how to meet it. So when we can do this practice in our individual lives, we can also start to take love beyond the personal experience, but to a socioeconomic and also political experience. And when we can do that, we can really ultimately shift the world towards global healing. So I invite you today to start practicing this experience of resilience in your own body and in your own life by having the container of love in your body, recognizing it, and then having this container almost hug or hold the smaller experiences or challenges or fear or aversion or pain or difficulty come up in your life. So I would love to hear how this practice goes, and I will love to also hear your feedback and keep sharing your resources, you guys. This has really been amazing. So happy Friday, and I will look forward to seeing you next time.